Monday in the opener, the Giants beat the Brewers by playing long ball with 4 home runs at Miller Park. Last night they used stellar pitching from Johnny Cueto to take game 2 of the series. Today they go for the sweep with another newcomer, Jeff Samardzija, on the mound in the final game of the series, and it's next. Day baseball here in Milwaukee. A lot of day baseball this week. Today we're at Miller Park to wrap up this 3-game series, Giants and Brewers. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Well, a win for Bumgarner, a win for Johnny Cueto. So now it's Jeff Samardzija's turn. So he ought to be really, really excited about this start.
Well, that's going to be a concern, is that he's a little overexcited. I mean, he wants to impress, and that this is his first start as a Giant. And he knows this Brewers team, and he's going to want to do better than Johnny Cueto and Madison Bumgarner. That's just the nature of the beast. A very competitive guy. The key today for Samardzija is finding a calm, finding a rhythm early, and everything else will just run its course.
Buster Posey in the lineup. Denard Span has the flu. All right, stay tuned. We'll take you to our CSN Bay Area studios for an update, and we'll do that right after this.
Area is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Double Jack Burger today, only at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Outside Miller Park, very chilly. Inside, not so much. Game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. 48 degrees, that's pretty nice. Outside, 67. Here inside, humidity is high at 89%. And it is going to rain today. It is getaway day for the Giants. Jeff Samardzija will make the start. This was Samardzija as he crossed paths with the guys headed to the bullpen.
Really has become one of the traditions around baseball. When that starter comes across the outfield, he will cross paths with his bullpen.
Let's take a look at the lineup that Taylor Youngman's going to face. It'll be Pagan, Panik, and Buster Posey. You see his numbers here at Miller Park, very good. Pence, Belton, Duffy. Crawford will hit in the 7th slot. Then it's Samardzija 8th, and Gregor Blanco will start this afternoon 9th.
On the hill today for the Milwaukee Brewers will be Taylor Youngman. See what he did last year. Just a little shy of a year's experience at the big league level, but last year really opened some eyes. 9-8 with a 3.77 ERA. He's a big guy, 6'6", 210-pounder, and throws a fastball right around 90, but with great command. He'll 2 and 4 seam the fastball, throw it a lot. He's got a big curveball, which is his best strikeout pitch, and he'll throw a changeup as well. But you'll see a lot of fastballs in and out. A guy his size, 6'6", with that type of command is a little unusual, but one of the reasons he's here. Originally slated to be the number 5 starter, but with an injury to Matt Garza that put him on the disabled list, he moved up in the 3 slot, and here he is today. No experience lifetime against the Giants. Take a look at the defense playing behind Youngman, starting in the outfield for these Brewers. From left to right, it'll be Braun, Flores, and Santana, the best arm in left field. VR and Hill on the left side, Jeanette and Carter on the right side of the infield. Jonathan Lucroy, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
With Denard Span in the clubhouse, battling the flu or the crud, as Chris Bochy likes to say. It's Angel Pagan who will be back in the leadoff spot. And the first pitch of the ball game is a called strike. As we get started at 12:41. Pagan is 1 for 7 in the series. He did hit the ball hard a couple of times last night. He ended up going 0 for 3. Behind the dish is Mike DeMiro. Then it's Walcott, Gorman, and Carlson from first to third.
Not the same kind of strike zone today that you saw in the first 2 games. DeMiro, he'll give you knee-high and bell-high strikes, but his zone is very tight. Definitely a hitter's umpire. It is consistent, however. I mean, it doesn't vary. You just don't get any corners, but you will get strikes called knees and belts.
2-2 on the foul in front of the Brewer dugout. The Giants won on Monday, the opener, 12-3, and then a tight one yesterday behind Johnny Cueto. The Giants won that one, a night game, 2-1. So quick turnaround with day baseball here in Milwaukee. The 2-2 pitch to Pagan is high, and it's a full count. Five day games this week. And 3 more coming up against the Dodgers. The payoff. Swinging a drive down the right field line. That is headed into the corner, and it's a fair ball. Santana picks it up, and Pagan will coast into second with a leadoff double.
All right, time now for our Nissan keys to the game. And number 1, Samardzija, accept the challenge. There is competition amongst this Giants rotation. And the gauntlet was set yesterday with Johnny Cueto, and Jeff Samardzija are going to try and answer. And number 2, grind that offense. Against a guy like Youngman who's going to be around the plate, you do not have to be impatient. Wait him out. He will come to you, as evidenced by that at bat from Angel Pagan. Nice 2-strike hitting. Those are our Nissan keys to the game.
So here's Joe Panik, homered on Monday. Came back yesterday with a couple of hits. Really hit the ball hard 4 times last night. And the first pitch is high and wide, 1-0. VR, the shortstop, is keeping Pagan as close to second base as he can. And a breaking ball for a called strike.
Crossover step too. A lot of guys with good curveballs will have a crossover step. But despite being 6'6" and lanky, Youngman's pretty quick out of the stretch. He's not an easy guy to steal on.
Buster Posey on deck, and then Hunter Pence to follow. See the slightly open stance by Joe Panik. Pagan really not going anywhere. It is really not something that you're going to see Bruce Bochy do a lot with nobody out and him out on second in the first inning. This is hit on the ground, and it'll be Carter on the backhand. And with Youngman covering, Panik will come up with a productive out as Pagan now is at third.
That's his job. Get that runner over at the very least. Ideally, get him in. If you can't, get him over. So Panik will get handshakes and pats on the back when he heads back to the Giants dugout.
Buster Posey on Monday went 2 for 4 with a home run. Came back yesterday, walked a couple of times, and went 0 for 2. One of those times yesterday he was walked intentionally. And they're going to put an overshift on Buster Posey. Carter, the only defender on the right side of the diamond.
That really surprises me because of his ability to control a bat head and use the right side of the field.
And he takes the first pitch in tight. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, they may have different information than what our eyes tell us. And there's that curveball that Youngman is got pretty good control of right now.
Yeah, that's a good one, and that is his reputation. He will throw it in any count. Craig Counsell, the skipper of the Brewers.
Very high, so he can control the curveball, but he's having a hard time controlling the fastball.
You kind of forget. I mean, it's opening day for Youngman. It's opening day for Samardzija. Everybody else has settled in with the first 2 games, but the starting pitcher in Game 3, this is his maiden voyage. So you would expect him to be a little amped up, and it looks like Youngman is, especially on the fastball.
On the ground, Carter's got it. He's going to come home, and Pagan scores. As the ball goes over the glove of Lucroy, Posey into second base. They had him.
They had him by 15 feet. No hesitation for Pagan. I mean, he's going on the play. I mean, a better throw, and it's an easy play for Lucroy.
That's got to be an error on Lucroy, right?
He's got to catch that ball. I mean, it was not that great a throw, but it was catchable. I originally put down E3 till I saw the replay. I'm changing it.
Here's Pence with Posey at second and 1 out. Hunter Pence 1 for 4, hit a ball off the pitcher's glove in last night's game and came up with a base hit. 1 for 5 in the game on Monday.
It's great. The initial call from the official scorer here was E3, and then they just changed it to E2.
Yeah, so he did the same thing you did.
Watch Pagan go. I mean, no hesitation. He's going on contact. And eventually they did get the play right. Lucroy should get the air. And he did.
That curveball. Youngman only has history against one guy on the Giants roster, and that guy's sick. It's Denard Span. Everybody else facing him for the first time.
Flu continuing to be a problem in the Giants clubhouse.
That's weighted on that one. That one being a breaking ball, and it's 1-2. Brandon Belt is on deck. Posey thought about it. He was thinking about it.
Feeling a little frisky in April.
Look out. Look out.
That had a whistle on it.
That's one of those where if you're coming up the steps in the Brewer dugout, you have no idea what's coming at you.
Yeah, just about ready to take your first sip of your new cup of coffee.
On the ground, off the glove of Hill into left field. Posey had to stop. Now he gets over to third. And I would think that that's a base hit.
I agree. That ball was roasted. Interesting that they came back at him with another curveball. When he saw the second one in the at-bat, the second curveball, he wasn't fooled at all. He had good balancing. And he had good balance when he saw the last pitch, the third curveball in the sequence. And he absolutely crushed it. If Aaron Hill, the third baseman, comes up with that play, I mean, that would have been above and beyond the normal play.
So here's Belt. Belt 3 hits on Monday. Had a hit in the game yesterday, so he's got 4 hits and 9 at bats so far this year. Swing. Ain't gonna miss. No balls and 1 strike.
Cut fastball, a good one.
Posey at third with Pence aboard at first. And now Youngman's in a spot where he's ahead of the count to Brandon Belt, 0-2.
And he got the 0-2 with a couple of fastballs, a cutter, and then a 2-seamer. You have defense playing behind you, they get a little sloppy immediately. You get into the strikeout mode, especially if you're a young pitcher like Youngman, who's 26 years old. As I mentioned, just a little less than a year's big league experience. That throw over called by the bench.
So Belt in a battle, no balls, 2 strikes. Little pop up into left field, and this is going to be caught Posey's going to tag. The throw's a good one, and Posey's out at the plate. Giants are on the board. 1-0. We'll face this lineup. It'll be Santana, Jeanette, and Ryan Braun. And Braun owns Samardzija, as do a couple more of these Brewer hitters. It'll be Lucroy, Carter, and Flores. Aaron Hill will hit in the 7th slot, Youngman 8th, and then Jonathan Villar 9th.
On the hill today for the Giants, making his San Francisco debut, will be Jeff Samardzija. Numbers last year, while being a member of the White Sox, he was 11-13 with a 4.96 ERA. 31 years of age, big guy. He's 6'5", 225-pounder. It's a little over 6 years at the big league level. And when you take your at-bats against him, you're going to see a fastball that could go 91 to 97 miles per hour, depending on the grip. He also has a slider and a forkball. He calls it a split, but he really jams it back in between his forefinger and his middle finger.
And the first pitch is a called strike to Santana.
Samardzija lifetime against these Brewers 2-6 with a 4.80 ERA.
Both fouled at the end of the Giants dugout. Santana is 2 for 9 this year. He scored a run. Outside, 1-2.
Cut on the fastball. I love 0-2 counts early in the game because it gives you an opportunity to really bust one of your specialty pitches and not have to throw a strike with it. There's the slider. That's a quick one. There's the forkball. He'll set his hand on every pitch. He may not throw that, but he'll set it in his hand so he doesn't tip the pitch if he wants to throw it in his glove. So 0-2 to a 3-2. The last pitch, another slider.
Here's the payoff. And the walk.
Check out that Giants defense playing behind Samardzija. Starting in the Giants outfield from left to right. With Span having the flu, you're going to see Pagan and Blanco and Pence. That's your outfield with Blanco in center, the best arm in right field. Crawford and Duffy on the left side of the infield with Panic and Bell on the right side. Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad. Looking down the sides, catching a day game after a night game.
So here's Scooter Gennett. Got 3 hits in the series. He homered off of Bumgarner on Monday. And a strike, and it's 0-1. So we've seen now Samardzija for the first time out of the stretch. On the ground and a fair ball. Stopping at second is Scooter, or make that Santana. So now it's set up for the guy who's got quite a bit of ownage on, Jeff Samardzija.
Well, you're right. The Rabbits have set the table, and Jeanette continues to swing a hot bat.
We're on 2 for 8 in the series. 10 for 20 with 3 home runs lifetime against Jeff Samardzija. Right now, Samardzija looking for a double play ball. And it's low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, you mentioned the success that Braun has had against him. Samardzija could tell you every location of every one of the hits that Braun has gotten off. Especially the 4 extra base hits, 3 home runs and a double.
Wrapped into right center field. That'll be a base hit. This will tie the game. To third goes Jeanette.
And how many times have we said it? Ownage is ownage. It just has everything to do with how well a guy sees a guy. They set up in the outside corner. This thing comes back right over the middle. And to Braun's credit, I mean, he doesn't drive too much. He just goes with the movement and finds the opposite gap.
So here's Jonathan Lucroy. So the fact that Samardzija had Santana 0-2 and then walked him really hurts him now. Lucroy 2 for 8 in the series. And he takes low. He's 2 for 19 against Jeff Samardzija. The guy on deck has also got some ownage. Giant starter. And that's Chris Carter. But first things first. First and third with nobody out and a run in.
Trying to pound the knees, trying to get that ground ball that gets 2 outs. I mean, you would give up a run to get 2 outs here.
I'd have balked. I tell you right now.
Buster Posey saw the walking role that Braun will have. Last year, Braun stole 24 bags. He only got thrown out 4 times. I mean, he's a good base runner, but he likes to roll into it.
And a strike.
Watch the step back with the right foot of Samardzija. And that's what you have to do. Step off the rubber. Once you do that, you're not going to balk. You're concentrating so hard. You have an inning starting to go against you. It's a very easy situation there to do something wrong with your lower body.
Outfield straight away. And this is going to be out of play, so it's now 1-2.
Lucroy having a little talk to himself. He had a hanging slider up around the belt. This is a fly ball situation. You're looking for something up, some mistake. He got one and he just missed it.
One and two to Jonathan Lucroy. Braun goes, swinging a bouncing ball. And because Braun was going, the only play will be at first. Braun now in scoring position with Chris Carter coming up. Carter 7 for 15 against Jeff Samardzija, and 3 of those 7 hits home runs. He's 1 for 8 in the series. Low and away, backhanded by Posey, 1 ball and no strikes. Giants infield playing back.
This is a strikeout situation for Samardzija.
Last year with the Astros, Carter in 391 at bats struck out 151 times. But he also connected 24 times when the ball left the yard. Low and away, 2-1.
Well, Samardzija can be careful with him. You know, he's a ground ball guy. He can get a ground ball. So with the first base open, it's not the end of the world if he walks a guy who's had ownage on him. Sets up the force. It sets up the double play. Don't have to groove something here and just flat out challenge the middle of the plate.
2-2. This will be the 19th pitch coming up with 1 out. Out of play.
Another breaking ball up. And that is caused by one thing. Samardzija's overamped. He's throwing through the break on the slider. He's throwing it too hard, and it's really not giving that pitch time to break.
Got him.
Big strikeout. That's exactly what he was looking for. And the payoff pitch was a nice little 91-mile-an-hour cut. Threw it off the plate. Did not have to throw a strike at any time in this at-bat. Count on a hitter's aggressiveness working against him when he's got a couple of ducks on the pond. That's just experience.
So a little chat with his catcher. Here's Ramon Flores, the young center fielder for the Brewers. He's 1 for 5 in the series. He's not faced Samardzija ever, at least during the regular season, and he takes 95-mile-an-hour fastball. So that's the one that he's pumped up on in this inning.
Nice two-seam movement too, moving away from Flores.
Out of play, or make it 0-2.
He's driving that ball nice right through the right side of that strike zone, the third base side. A lot of pitches up this inning. That has everything to do with adrenaline. That'll wear off. About 25 pitches into it, we'll start to get a feel, and our arm will start to be your friend. Yeah,
I'm sure there are times where you'd like to send it to its own room.
Well, sometimes when you get so much adrenaline in your arm, you don't have a great feeling from your elbow down to your fingertip. You just don't. When that wears off, then it comes back to you. But after a while, you're vulnerable. You don't have all your weapons, and he hasn't had his slider.
Right arm, go to your room.
Now.
Got him, and that'll end the inning. So Samardzija limits the damage just like Taylor Youngman did. It's 1-1. And that'll start on Thursday. This Saturday, we'll highlight that game. The first 20,000 fans are going to receive a Beat LA flag courtesy of Coca-Cola. And remember, it's Kershaw against Bumgarner. sfgiants.com/tickets. Here's Duffy. Duffy 2 for 9 in the series. Hit the first home run of the season for the Giants on Monday. Does have 5 runs batted in. He had an RBI in the win yesterday on a fielder's choice. On a play, he was on his way to being the guy on opening day. Then Denard Span picked up 5 RBIs in the game on Monday.
Yeah, he one-upped him.
That breaking ball 2-2. Taylor Youngman.
Tall, drink of water. 6'6", 210, lanky.
High and deep into left center field. It is out of here. And the Giants take the lead.
Oh, that comes at a 2-strike count.
Sixth RBI of the season, his second home run.
He is not going to want to leave the friendly state of Wisconsin. They set an outside target. It goes middle up around the belt. Total mistake. Oh, he stays inside this beautifully. Boom. Takes on the deep part of the yard. Clears it easily. That's a big boy home run.
Over our camera. 424, says our crew.
It's a good crew here, by the way.
Hey, it's the Brew crew. Come on, it's the crew. Here's Crawford, who homered yesterday. It's challenged, and it's 0-2.
They tried to pitch him a lot above the letters in this series.
In tight with the overshift on for Crawford. Jeff Samardzija is on deck, and he's a good hitter. Got foul, so Crawford lives to see another pitch.
He kind of saved that curveball for a 2-strike surprise, and he did a good job just to fight that thing off. First time you see that thing, you're at a disadvantage. Not a lot of Giants have a big history against this guy. As you pointed out, the only guy who does is not in the game, and that's Span, who has the flu.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Think anybody's going to sit next to Denard Span on the plane?
Not me.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Roll to second, where Jeanette will glove and throw.
Time now for a McDonald's True Stories. Brandon Crawford last night, top of the 3rd. Jimmy Nelson serves it up, high fastball. Whoops, see you later. And then the bottom of the 3rd, this was the defensive play of the game for the Giants. Crawford throws to Posey, who makes a brilliant swipe tag. And VR was sent packing, and the Giants would win that game by 1 run. That's our McDonald's True Stories.
Here's Samardzija as he rolls it to Roberto Kelly.
Brandon Crawford last year, Silver Slugger and Gold Glover. First Giants player to do that since Bonds did it. Barry Bonds in 1997. So he kind of filled up the trophy case in the offseason.
You'd think Bonds would have done it like 10 times. You would?
Yep.
Breaking ball, Samardzija out swinging.
You won't see a better play than what Aaron Hill made in the 1st inning. Goes back and catches a pop-up. That itself's a great play. Then to plant quickly and throw an absolute strike to Jonathan Lucroy. And in the backside of this play, they double up Posey. That's an absolute one-hop pearl. Beautiful play, Aaron Hill.
How did he do that?
That's a great play. That's as good as it gets right there. That's the big leagues.
Here's Gregor Blanco. Gregor's had 3 at-bats already this year, coming off the bench. He's 1 for 3. And he bluffs a bunt and takes low.
Youngman wanted the strike. Tight zone today, fellas. You see a lot of stare downs from the pitchers in this game before it's all over. There are pitchers umpires, there are hitters umpires. Mike DeMuro is a hitter's umpire.
There's a strike. Blanco last year, .291. He had 327 at bats. Another strike. Really just can't judge Gregor Blanco on numbers. Had 5 home runs, 26 driven in. Stole 13 bases, but it's really what he brings to the table when he goes on defense as well, as this is tapped slowly. Jeanette is going to have to hurry in time. And after the home run, a nice job by Taylor Youngman. Here's Duffy. It was a long one, and it's bye-bye baby, and it's 2-1 Giants.
area is brought to you by AAA. Get a free Giants all-season blanket. Restrictions apply. Go to AAA.com/Giants or to a AAA branch for details.
Matt Duffy's home run, the difference, it's 2-1 Giants. Here's Aaron Hill facing Jeff Samardzija. And a call strike. Hill is another one of these Brewers that has pretty good history against Samardzija. He's 4 for 6.
Yeah, that's ownage.
Taps it foul at the plate. It's 0-2. Last year, in a Diamondbacks uniform, Hill hit .230 with 6 home runs, 39 driven in.
You can see why he has success against Samardzija. Samardzija's natural fastball runs back into a right-handed hitter, and Aaron Hill's very quick middle in. He likes that ball coming to that inside corner.
Off the plate, 1-2.
Samardzija, quick worker, not as quick as Cueto, but he moves it.
Pence coming in, and Pence will make the catch. The sliding Hunter Pence.
He had a nice jump on that ball.
In a lot of ballparks, that's a base hit because right fielders don't play so shallow.
Yeah, including AT&T Park. Comes well in on the ball. Nice sliding concentration. Watched it right into the pocket. Pence never stops moving.
Here's Taylor Youngman. Out of play. You might think, just listening to how Youngman's name is pronounced, that it would be spelled Y-O-U-N-G-M-A-N. Not so. And this one's going to fall in front of Hunter Pence. So Youngman's got an average. And here's Jonathan Villar.
Well, we shouldn't be that surprised. I mean, he hit .270 last year, 10 for 37.
So here's Villar. Two for 7. Hit a home run on Monday. And here he takes high. First pitch from Samardzija, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. On deck, top of the order. And that's Domingo Santana. 2-1 Giants here in the second. Not as clean and crisp game as the one we had last night. Toy. You're going to miss. Even the count.
Really attack the hands on the inside corner there. You do that once, you think you can do it all day. And as long as the guy keeps swinging at it. Get after. Looks to me like you are backed off the plate a little bit. That's your only defense against it, taking it.
Low, 3-1.
You know, that's kind of something that this generation of player does not do as much as previous generations, and that's move around the batter's box.
No, everybody's pretty stationary. And the walk.
And stationary for a reason. A lot of hitting instructors teach, you know, get into that box the same way so you can have a consistent reference to a strike zone. If you move around the box, that strike zone is going to move around with you. But it was pretty commonplace a generation ago where you'd see guys move around. Move up, move back.
It does change your strike zone. You're right. It's one of the reasons why guys don't want to do it. Here's Domingo Santana, who drew a walk and scored in the first.
That pitch. Most guys will get right to that back line with that back foot. Don't see many holes at home plate now, too. The ground crews do such a great job putting clay in that box.
Out of play.
That clay doesn't break down. Same thing with the mounds. Mounds have really evolved in a positive way. They're much more resistant to the big holes you used to see dug out by guys with their stride step. That when they would plant their foot, they would dig out a hole. It doesn't happen as much anymore.
And that's a base hit. Cut off by Pence. Now on his way to third on a late break was VR, and this game is tied on the base hit by Santana.
No hesitation from Ed Cedar, even with the pitcher at second base. He knows that Youngman's a pretty good athlete. And he waves him in without hesitation. Nice opposite field approach. We're seeing the Brewers do that a lot against Samardzija. And there you see Cedar, the third base coach, zero hesitation.
Here's Jeanette, who singled down the third base line in the first inning. And he drives it foul, and it's 0-1. So at third is Jonathan VR. At first is Domingo Santana. Good pitch, nothing in two.
It's the first forkball that he's still over for a strike, and that's a pitch that he did not have in the first inning. 40 pitches now into this outing, and he finally got that weapon.
Foul back.
And that was right down the middle at the belt to a hot hitter, and he got away with an 0-2 mistake in the location right there.
That's an ugly bat.
That's a whooping still.
It is. Out of play. I mean, it's one way to beat the whole pine tar thing. Is just get a bat that's the same color as pine tar.
I mean, it looks like it's got pine tar all the way to the tip.
Somewhere George Brett is smiling.
It's called the George Brett finish, I think. That's genius right there.
Can't tell.
Can't. Why did not somebody think of that before this?
Got him.
See ya. You're pitching for a strikeout with a runner at third and less than 2 outs, and he gets it, and with a hot hitter. Third strikeout for Samardzija.
So here's Braun. Samardzija doesn't have to deal with Braun if he doesn't want to. He's got an open base. It is at second, however. Braun lined a single into center field in the first. And it's in tight 1-0. Out of play. There's that healthy rip that you see Braun take.
Now he's on him. I mean, he's getting back leg into every swing against him. So that validates the numbers that he's had lifetime against him.
Center field, lots of room. Side retired. Samardzija again limits the damage. The Brewers tie it up. It's 2-2.
Area is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com.
2-2 as we head to the third. Giants will have Angel Pagan in the top of the lineup coming up. Panic and then Posey against Taylor Youngman. Pagan double to open up the game. Two and 0.
Yeah, they got a high mistake fastball right across the letters in a 2-strike count, raked it down the right field line. That's what he did all spring. I mean, he really jumped on high mistakes, and I'm talking about both sides of the plate, right-handed, left-handed.
And a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Take it all the way. Like a good leadoff hitter.
Two and 2.
Got But just sort of cutting that fastball on, that outside corner. Book on Youngman is he's got nice command of the fastball, and he is starting to show a little more command of the corners than he did early in the game, understandably. Adrenaline wearing off.
On the ground, a one hopper to Jeanette, who gives ground and throws him out. Well, MLB.TV Premium, everything you've come to expect and more. New low price for 2016. You can watch every out-of-market game of all 30 teams live and in true HD. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. We use it every day. Every day.
Every day. Using it right now.
Here's Joe Panik, who bounced out to first on the ground ball, that enabled Pagan in the first inning to go from second to third. And he takes a strike. So Youngman finding that spot. He did to Pagan, and he does here to Joe Panik. Buster Posey to follow. We're in the third. Getaway day for the Giants. Dodgers tomorrow, home opener, day game. Yeah, or Carter will take it himself.
2 bullets off the bat of Pagan and Panik. Nothing to show for it. Panik's had a lot of at-bats where he's hit the ball right on the screws.
He really has.
He hasn't really got anywhere near the type of average he should have gotten in this series. I mean, he still hit well, but he's had a nice series swinging the bat.
Here's Buster Posey. Buster reached on an error by Jonathan Lucroy, who could not corral a throw from Chris Carter. And this is rolled to short. VR charges. He has it. And that'll end the inning. 9-pitch inning for Taylor Youngman. Samardzija coming back out. It's 2-2.
Bay Area is brought to you by Tri-Counties Bank. Service with solutions.
2-2 ball game as the Brewers come up here in the third. Samardzija's pitched in and out of trouble in the first 2 innings. It's Kathy. A little shy right now.
Your sister.
Missed her by about A half inning, she was eating a brat. That's the shot I wanted.
She was very entertained in last night's ball game during the sausage race when the one guy went down.
That's our humor. We live for moments like that. What are you talking about?
What'd she say? Best face plant she ever saw.
Best ever. So it's 2-0 to Jonathan Lucroy. And a strike. Chopper to Duffy. Duffy to Belt. This was a face plant last night, which, I don't know, whatever reason, we just think it's hysterical.
Well, he got up smiling.
We're good. Look at his nose.
We're good.
That's not a face plant. That's a nose plant.
Oh man.
Here he goes. He's starting to lose ground right there.
Boom.
And as top heavy as those outfits are, it's going to not have a good ending when it comes to wondering if you're going to hit your head or not.
I've done that on a snowboard. I want you to know. All part of it. But last night,
It was funny.
it lit the place up. Certainly our broadcast booth.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that funny, but it is.
I know.
Get into right center field. Blanco on the move. And gone. Onage is Onage. It's 3-2. That's the 4th lifetime home run for Carter off of Samardzija. And that's in 17 at bats.
Gives you an idea how strong he is. I don't even think he got all this thing on the sweet spot. It may have got up the bat just a little bit. They tried to jam him. He leaves it out over the plate and just takes on the opposite gap. And Samardzija do it. And there she goes. First home run as a Brewer.
So here's Ramon Flores. Flores struck out in the first, and there's a called strike. It's 3-2. Milwaukee here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Samardzija has been up today. Dramatically different than the last start that he had against Oakland in the Bay Bridge series at the end of spring training back in San Francisco. He was down around the knees. And that really is one of his keys. When he gets up around the belt, I mean, hitters can elevate. Last year he led the league in giving up home runs.
Belt is going to take this himself. 2 outs. Dave Fleming is not with us. He's on assignment. John Miller is, and he'll be in here to call innings 4, 5, and 6 as I'll head over to the KNBR side. There's John. We had Dave for one day, and his attitude was, "You're lucky for that."
He'll be there tomorrow when the Giants open up at home, and then things will calm down with his schedule.
Here's Aaron Hill, and Hill takes a strike. Hill popped out to Hunter Pence in right field. Hunter Pence made a nice sliding catch. It's number 59 for Samardzija, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
High pitch count for Samardzija. Want to have 45 by the end of the 3rd inning. Next pitch will be number 60.
Hill wraps this one. Crawford charging, and that'll end the inning. The home run by Carter gives the Brewers the lead. John Miller, he'll be in. I'll see you back here in the 7th. It's 3-2 Milwaukee.
Long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Go to tmobile.com/MLB to sign up right now and catch every moment on America's fastest growing LTE network. We are heading to the top of the 4th inning. The Brewers on top of the Giants right now by a score of 3-2. And here to tell you all about it, my old pal John Miller.
All right, Crook and Hunter Pence, who got an infield single his first time. And that's ball 1 from Youngman. Actually, his base hit ended up hitting off the glove of 3rd baseman Aaron Hill and into the outfield. He hit that ball, according to the StatCast, at 106 miles an hour. 1-1 the count.
He roasted it. I think Aaron Hill did well just to touch it.
I think so too. 106 miles an hour. Gets there awfully quickly when you're the 3rd baseman at that speed. There's a called strike, and it's 1-2.
That's a good curveball. What I like about Youngman and that curveball is his ability to throw it behind the count. I mean, there's nobody going to look for that pitch when they have count leverage. Good way to steal a strike, even up a count.
Two and two now to Hunter Pence with Brandon Belt on deck. Matt Duffy due up 3rd in the inning. Giants trailing for the first time in this one. 3-2 Milwaukee as we start the 4th inning. Hunter Pence 3 hits and 10 at bats so far in the young season. Curveball. There's VR. And he got him. Pence, as always, racing up that first base line. 1 down.
Youngman's really starting to settle in. I mean, after the home run to Duffy hitting a 2-strike count in the 2nd inning, every ball that's been hit has been on the ground. After the home run, he's retired 7 in a row. 6 ground balls and a strikeout.
Brandon Belt with the overload on the right side. Only VR remains on the left side against him. Did Belt swing at that one? An appeal? No, says Mark Carlson, the third base umpire. No swing.
That was close.
Belt's bid for a bloop hit along the left field line was denied by Aaron Hill, who made a spectacular play to catch it as it dropped in over his shoulders with his back to the infield, and then he turned around and threw out Buster Posey. Tried to score with a perfect throw to the plate. Huge play to end the first inning.
Now, big for a lot of reasons. Youngman really hadn't settled in, and he was vulnerable. And that brilliant play ended the inning and got Youngman back to the bench. And ever since that time, he's been kind of a different pitcher.
3-0 the count to Belt. At the knees for a strike. They get the three infielders on the right side. You saw the close-up of Aaron Hill there a moment ago. He's at the second base position. That's him there in the middle of the screen. The second baseman is, what, 25 feet or so into the outfield. That's Jeanette. A walk for Brandon Belt.
All right, time now for our forward right choice, and Matt Duffy has had a nice series here in Milwaukee. Second inning in a 2-strike count. They set the target away with the fastball. They miss up and in at the belt, and he unloads. Second home run of the year, and this was a big potato over the center field camera, the left center field camera. It's our forward right choice.
The StatCast of the MLB app said 424 feet for that one. Tape measure shot.
They're going to be dragging him out of the clubhouse to get on the plane back to San Francisco. He is not going to want to leave this ballpark. I was talking about after his 4 RBI day in game 1 of the series. Would you like to play 81 days here and hit here? He goes, there's not a hitter on this planet that would not want to do that. It's a great place to hit. You really see the ball well. No wind. Carry all fields.
And that curveball almost hit him. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One thing about the grass here at Miller Park is that it's pretty fair. It's not a hard infield or a quick infield or quick gaps. Some dome stadiums, they have a hard time growing grass thick enough to be able to regulate the speed in the infield, and normally they're pretty quick, as are the gaps. Not so much here.
Duffy said he really likes the infield here. It's very true. And the count goes to 2-1. Duffy with a look at Roberto Kelly. Billy Hayes was in the ear of Brandon Belt meanwhile, as Kelly ran through those signals. 2-1 the count to Duffy. Belt steps back on the bag. Giants have hit 6 home runs in the 3 games here in Milwaukee, including 4 in the opener on Monday. Crawford went deep last night, and Duffy has launched his 2nd of the series today. There goes Belt. Lucroy's throw on the hop. Safe. Brian Gorman made the call. He felt that Belt got in under the tag.
Now the Brewers are going to look at it, and there was a little window of opportunity because of the 1-hop throw from Lucroy. It causes Jeanette to have to raise his glove to get it. And I don't know if he got it back down in time, and this is what they're looking at right now. Very close play.
Well, they are going to have a look at it. The Brewers have requested that they review that replay. The replay review is presented by Xfinity. Crew chief who made the call is over there, Brian Gorman. And Mark Carlson, the third base umpire, is also there on the right side of the screen. Well, it was difficult to say from the two views we just saw.
Now here's another view, and this may be the one that persuaded the Brewers to challenge. I don't know if you can conclude anything there either. It's got to be.
Because you have to know exactly when the tag is on Brandon Belt. It was hard to say exactly when.
Yeah, it's got to be an obvious in order for it to change.
And it cannot be those laces. They changed that rule. There were guys being called out because, well, the tip of the lace had touched him before he was on the bag. That's no longer going to be the case.
Now that's the one I think gives the best argument for the Brewers.
So it's the umpires in New York that will make the call, and they just showed that angle we just saw here on the screen in center field, which won the hearts and minds of the fans here at Miller Park. Again, it makes it look like he did tag him before his foot was on the bag, but that's if he actually had the tag on him at that point. But the umpires in New York are the ones who will make this call. He's out.
Well, I think they got the play right.
And it was interesting on a 2-1 count. Apparently it was a straight steal. Bell took off, and Duffy did not swing at the pitch. So it's now 3-1 to Duffy.
That's a big play in a 1-run ball game. Puts Youngman back in the windup.
3-2 now. 2 down, nobody on here in the 4th. Left center, Flores, the center fielder. Still 3-2 Milwaukee as Jeff Samardzija will head back to the mound. Last of the 4th. At Miller Park. Last night, some controversy to end the game. This is with a 1-run lead for Tampa Bay in the 9th inning. 1, and a wild throw allowed the tying and go-ahead runs to score. But later, when they reviewed the replay, Bautista was called for an illegal slide. It was ruled a double play that nullified both of those runs. And the Rays ended up beating the Jays, and John Gibbons was not too happy.
Now, runners may not deviate from their pathway to the base in order to initiate contact with the fielder, and that's what they ruled he had done by grabbing the foot of the middle infielder. And stay tuned for this. I mean, this is April, and as the season heats up, this rule change is going to be very hot and heavy. I mean, we're talking about a 2-run change from being down 1 to being up 1, and then the game being over. And John Gibbons, the skipper for the Blue Jays, was furious. And I'm not sure everybody really understands how the rule change is going to affect the game, but it's going to make it completely different in second base than it ever has been.
That's called strike 3 to Taylor Youngman, who singled and scored a run back in the second inning. Youngman called out on strikes here. And there is 1 away. Well, Bruce Bochy was not happy with that interpretation this morning when I asked him about it. He said, well, that wasn't the point of this. The point was for a guy targeting the middle infielder. And Bochy felt like, well, he slid into the bag. And that was not the point of this new rule. So he feels like there may be some growing pains, as there were with the play at the plate, the change in that rule.
And the neighborhood play and the shoelaces play, but it'll evolve back, I believe, because that's just ridiculous.
I thought that the whole point was, now if Bautista had slid directly at the infielder where he couldn't even touch the bag, then that was what that was about. That's what I thought it was about.
That was not a wide slide at all.
1 ball, 1 strike to Villar. The bunt fouled.
I mean, you're supposed to get down on the ground before you get to the bag. You can't slide past the bag. You can't deviate your pass. So if you slide to either side of the bag at all, then you're in violation of the rule by definition. His right hip was literally touching the bag. I mean, if you're not allowed to do that as a base runner, you can't put any heat on a play at all.
And that is strike 3 called. Another called third strike. 2 down in the inning. Here's that play again last night. Watch where Bautista goes with the slide.
I mean, he goes right over the bag. I mean, he was touching the bag with his butt. The fact that he went out with his hand and touched the ankle is what caused the play to be ruled against the team. But I just don't understand how that can be something that is acceptable. I don't believe it.
Domingo Santana, the leadoff man, has walked and singled home a run. He's had handed 2 of the Brewers 3 runs. 3-2 Milwaukee, 2 down, nobody on in the 4th inning.
It's the first inning in this ball game that Samardzija has really been able to locate down around the knees.
1 ball, 1 strike. Now, one thing with this new rule on that slide at second base, part of the rule reads you're supposed to slide into the bag and you have to stay in the bag. And I guess that's what the letter of the rule they interpreted when they looked at the review is, well, he didn't stay in the bag.
Well, I hope they tweak it to where it's realistic, because I don't believe that play should be something that would cost a team a game. I think that second base should still be a hard-nosed neck of the woods. I don't want to see barrel slides like we saw last year with Chase Utley taking out a guy's leg. I didn't like that play at all. That play last night, that's baseball. It's been around for 134 years in the Giants organization. And to change that changes the complexion of the game. And I don't think it's healthy.
2 down, nobody on. 2-2 to Santana. Just off the corner. Full countdown. Scooter Gennett, the left-handed hitter, is on deck. Playing it right there, Joe Panic. And that's a 3-up, 3-down inning. Relatively quick inning for Samardzija, and he needed one big time. On to the 5th. Brandon Crawford will be coming up.
Time now for our Togo's big play the Togo's way. And last night, Johnny Cueto was spectacular. 7 strong, getting 6 hits allowed, 1 earned run, no walks, 4 strikeouts. He was the winning pitcher. And that pitch right there that ended the inning for him with a 3-2 changeup against Ryan Braun. If he just cut up the strike zone and really was very entertaining in doing so, Giants fans are going to love that man. Our Togo's big play.
I feel that Giants fans, I feel very strongly about this, will feel he's much more entertaining now than they used to when he was a Red.
Well, yeah, he's got their uni on. Absolutely.
Brandon Crawford grounded out his first time. They got the overshift on for him. 3 infielders to the right of second. And up there to just to the right of second base. That's the third baseman, Aaron Hill. The shortstop is still over on the left side. VR, and VR is trying to protect against the possibility of the bunt. Jeff Samardzija is on deck. Curveball from Youngman, and it's ball 3. Dodgers play tonight in San Diego. The Dodgers have not yet allowed a run. Shut out the Padres last night 3-0. Their new left-hander Scott Kazmir had an outstanding beginning to his Dodger career. Bullpen went the last 3. They've shut out the Padres 2 days in a row. That's a strike. 3-1. Arizona had a 6-run inning late in the game last night and came from behind and beat Colorado after falling behind 6-2 originally. Paul Goldschmidt had 4 RBIs, including a 3-run triple in the 6-run inning. That one boring into the hands, or under the hands, with that cutter. 3-2 the count. Colorado plays at Arizona in a day game today. They're supposed to start in about 30 minutes. Tyler Chatwood for Colorado against Patrick Corbin. In San Diego, Kenta Maeda will go against Andrew Kashner. That's going to be a 6:10 start Pacific time before the Dodgers fly up to San Francisco for the Giants opener tomorrow. Giants and Dodgers tomorrow, 1:35. 3-2. Curveball pulled foul, hit deep down the right field line into the second deck.
There's an example of Youngman not having any fear throwing that big curveball in a 3-2 count. Another example of how Brandon Crawford not impressed with it. Saw it early, waited well. Good balance in that swing.
Three and 2. And he walks him. A leadoff walk for Brandon Crawford, and now gives Samardzija a chance to try and move him up with a bunt.
Such a big mistake. You're nursing a 1-run lead to walk that leadoff hitter. Now Samardzija is a good bunter. He's a good hitter. It's because it's a bunt situation. No guarantee he's going to stick with a bunt his whole at bat. Ochi does respect his abilities to handle that bat.
He's hit 2 home runs in the big leagues. He's showing bunt. That is foul. Aaron Hill was right in on top of him. The first baseman, Chris Carter, never even left first base. He's talking to Scooter Gennett right now. Both he and Gennett ended up side by side at first base.
Bruce Bochy will watch how the defense plays this, how aggressive that third baseman is, and if he thinks Aaron Hill's breathing down the neck of Samardzija, he'll let him pull the trigger, even down a run. Let him swing away.
Throw goes to second in time, and that is a double play. Well, Samardzija both times bunted to third. Usually the play there is trying to make the first baseman field it.
No, you're right. Runner at first base, you want to go first base line. Runner at second base, you want to go third base line. It was a great bunt, but with Aaron Hill right on top of it, he had an opportunity and winds up being a pretty easy double play.
Samardzija showed off some of that old wide receiver speed from his Notre Dame days. Made it close at first. So 2 down, nobody on. Here's Gregor Blanco. Blanco grounded out his first time. 1 ball, no strikes. 3-2. The Brewers lead the Giants. We're in the 5th inning. Getaway day for the Giants, heading home to San Francisco. The home opener tomorrow. Showing bunt. That one in the dirt on the inside. 2-0. Angel Pagan on deck. Jake Peavy will have the honors. When Bumgarner started here for the opener on Monday, that gave the Giants starting rotation 14 opening day calls. That's a swinging strike. 2-1 now to Blanco. Bumgarner's, he's got a few now. Matt Cain's had one. Jake Peavy's had several. And so has Johnny Cueto. 2-1 the count. And now it's 3-1. So Jake Peavy is always a good choice for a day like that because it's a hectic day.
Well, having pitched in those games is a big plus for a guy to be able to deal with the adrenaline, the distraction, because there are lots of distraction those days.
Strike 2 call. 3-2 now to Blanco. Tomorrow the Giants and Dodgers. And our recommendation is get there early. Scooter Gennett, and the inning is over. Another ground ball. It will be Gennett, then that man, Ryan Braun, coming up.
Tires, service, straight talk. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Is brought to you by Big O Tires. Tires, service, straight talk. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Back at Miller Park in Milwaukee. Final game of the series. The Giants with a chance to get the sweep, but they are trailing right now 3-2 as the Brewers come to bat here in the last half of the 5th inning. Scooter Gennett hitting second in the order will lead off. Then Ryan Braun, who has been a real problem for Samardzija both today and always, is on deck. And there's ball 1 to Gennett. Gennett has singled and struck out looking. Jeff Samardzija, his 5 strikeouts through the first 4 innings. And the changeup misses way outside and high. 2-0 the count. Each team scored single runs in the first 2 innings, and then the Brewers went ahead on Chris Carter's solo homer in the 3rd. Another guy who has tormented Samardzija. And that one is up and away on a fastball. It's 3-0. So Samardzija, who did not have his command in the early innings, had his best inning in the 4th inning, but he's starting off behind 3-0 here in the 5th inning. There's a strike, although it was up, and the count is 3-1. Brewers have 3 runs and 5 hits. The Giants 2 runs and 3 hits against Taylor Youngman, who has induced a couple of double play balls. Ball was down, but too far down, and it's a leadoff walk for Jeanette.
Now we saw Youngman pitch through a leadoff walk in the 5th, and now Samardzija is going to try and do the same. It's 2 times today that he has walked a hitter to start off an inning. Just immediately put your back up against the wall.
And he walks Jeanette in front of really a complete nemesis. Ryan Braun has a .500 career batting average against Jeff Samardzija. 11 hits and 22 at bats, including 3 home runs. He had an RBI single back in the 1st inning. On.
You know, guys that have ownage on guys, I mean, you just watch them take their at-bats, and it's rare that they get off their back leg. You just don't see much slide under their front foot where they lose their lower body. Their foundation is just timed to them. And it doesn't matter what you throw them. Forkball, cutter, slider, it doesn't matter. They're on you. They just see you. They're relaxed. That back leg just knows you.
Diving safely back. Jeanette at first. Jeff Samardzija, he's worked hard today. This next pitch will be his 80th of the game. We're only in the 5th inning with nobody out. And a foul back out of play. 0-2 the count. Ryan Braun, who likes to, he's one of those walkers. Goes on walkabout after a pitch. All the way over onto the grass along the 3rd base line.
Yeah, he walks, he talks. Not in any hurry, completely relaxed in the batter's box.
And his back foot may not actually be in the batter's box. Back foot is almost, look at that, it's out of the batter's box. Strike 3. He puts him away in a hurry.
That's 91-mile-an-hour cut, and you could not put it in a more perfect location. Now the movement on that pitch is just a little subtle 3-inch slide. It just falls away from a hitter, and even a guy who has great numbers against you overmatched with it because of the location and the performance on the pitch. Beautiful.
That was the 27th plate appearance for Braun against Samardzija, and the first time that Samardzija has ever struck him out.
Well, he had to throw some perfection up there to get the strikeout.
Here's Lucroy, the cleanup hitter. He has hit a comebacker and has also grounded out to third. He's 0 for 2. Lucroy is just the opposite of being a tormentor of Samardzija as Braun has been. He has only 2 hits in 21 career at bats against the Shark. 1 out, 1 on here in the 5th. And it's 0-1. So all those things you're talking about with Braun, always on his back foot, always looking composed and looking confident against Samardzija. It's just the opposite for Lucroy.
You can't explain it. You cannot explain it. Some players are that way. Some ballparks are that way. Some ballparks, you just drop your glove, you're going to get a win. Other ballparks, nah.
1 strike to count. That's a base hit. So Lucroy gets the hit after Braun strikes out. Here comes Carter, another guy who has tormented Samardzija, including today.
He's trying to jam him. This thing goes out over the middle of the plate. And that wasn't even on the sweet spot to give you an idea how strong Carter is. That was up the bat a little bit. He still had enough power to get it over the wall, the opposite gap. Impressive swing of the bat.
And things are set up here for him to do some serious damage. 2 men on, only 1 man out. Carter was up there with a couple of men on in the first inning, and Samardzija struck him out. This could be 2. Crawford to second 1. Panic over to first. 2. A double play. Just like that, the threat has ended, and Samardzija gets out of it. And he got a couple of guys who've tormented him in doing it. Top of the order coming up for the Giants.
Presented by authority of the San Francisco Giants. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
3-2 Milwaukee as we go to the 6th inning. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow, Dwayne Kuiper, who's over on the radio side for now. And we've got a pitching change here. Chris Capuano on in relief of Taylor Youngman.
Field swinging the bat off a high mistake, which he has really been great at all year, all through spring. And here a belly slide into the bag, and that's how it opens up here. Nice at bat.
Not Joe Paddock, who helped the Giants get their first run with some situational hitting. He got Pagan from second to third with an infield out back in the first. He also grounded out to first his last time. The infield is staying back, and that's a little bit low. You see how they're playing it. Only the third baseman, Aaron Hill, is pulled in a bit. Everybody else is playing deep. Possible tying run at third, nobody out. Buster Posey on deck. The bloop along the left field line, foul. And the ball dude goes and gets it. 1 ball, 1 strike. The outfield is pushed toward the left field side against Joe Paddock. Getting that runner home from third with less than 2 down. And in a tight ball game, that could be the difference between winning and losing. There you see the Milwaukee bullpen with the right-hander Blaine Boyer getting ready with Posey on deck. Right to first, holding is Pagan. And Carter takes the play himself.
Giants really have not done well in the situation in this series with runners at third base, less than 2 outs, getting that runner in.
You see Posey's had some success against Capuano, who will not face him here. Craig Counsell goes out, and they're going to make the pitching change, bringing in Blaine Boyer to face Buster Posey. 2 down, or 1 out, runner at third. The Giants down by a run, and we'll be right back to Miller Park.
Your special event package will include a game ticket to see the Giants take on the Padres and a collector's edition Giants themed Year of the Monkey figurine. Reminder, you want the figurine, you need to get a ticket. You want a ticket, go to sfgiants.com/special events.
The Giants down by a run, trying to get that runner home from third with 1 out now. Paddock was not able to do it, and here's Blaine Boyer to try and keep Buster Posey from getting Pagan home after his leadoff triple.
Boyer, a hard thrower. You'll see low to mid 90s with the fastball. He's got 4 pitches: curveball, slider, changeup. Lots of weapons.
See his numbers with the Minnesota Twins last year, for whom he appeared in 68 games.
And a good season. 2.49 ERA.
3 infielders to the left of second against Buster. The overshift, and ball 1.
He almost handcuffed Jonathan Lucroy, the Brewers catcher, on that pitch.
Buster got Pagan home in the same situation in the first inning with a little help. the Brewers catcher Lucroy couldn't handle the throw. That ball is hammered deep left center. Braun has it. Pagan will tag and score. Buster Posey has delivered the tying run.
Nice at bat. Gives you an idea of the carry in this ballpark, because that was hit off the end of the bat. He didn't get all that one, but still got enough to get the job done. And that makes it a good at bat.
3-3. The run charge to Capuano, who went just 1/3 of an inning. Give up the triple to Pagan. So Pagan got it set up. Hitting in the leadoff spot today, with Denard Span being down with the flu. Ball 1 to Hunter Pence. Pence has had an infield single, or at least off the glove of the third baseman, Aaron Hill, and he is grounded out to short. Off the catcher, that really staggered Lucroy, and he's on his knees trying to shake it off. Plate umpire Mike DeMuro giving Lucroy a chance to get himself back together here.
Seward got him right on the right kneecap, and that hurts. I don't. They can't put enough padding on the kneecap to protect it. It still sends a zinger of pain right up your leg, and it sticks around for a while too.
It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Hunter Pence. 3 infielders to the left of second. They've got the overshift on for Pence. Did he swing? Yes, he did.
Change up. You mentioned the 4 pitches that Boyer could give you. He was a starter. He's got a feel of all 4, and he'll throw all 4 in any count. I mean, that's part of what makes him so effective. And, you know, you're a reliever, and you pitch a whole season in the big leagues, and your ERA is 2.49, like Boyer's was last year with the Twins. You know what you're doing.
Two and 2.
Willis talking it over with Angel Pagan.
Two down, nobody on. A run is in. 3-3 in the 6th inning. Just off the outside at 92 miles an hour. Full count now.
Boyer had a couple steps heading over toward the Brewers dugout. He's thinking inning's over.
And Pence fights off that slow breaking ball. Still 3-2.
Anything at any time.
Now with a 3-2 count, they're no longer overstacked on the left side of the infield. The second baseman, Jeanette, has moved back to the right side, but well over toward the middle. There you see how they're playing it. They had all 3 of those guys to the left of second earlier. 3-2 the count. Into the upper deck. Off to the right. Still 3-2. Brandon Belt on deck. Pence battles it out here with Boyer. 3-3 in the 6th inning. Boyer to Pence again. Down the right field line, a base hit. And that one off the glove of Santana. Pence to second, and he'll pull up there as the throw comes in. He picked up third base coach Roberto Kelly, who gave him the stop sign.
It'll be interesting to see how they play this. I mean, whether it will be a single and an error or a double. Great at bat. I mean, he works at 3-2, goes opposite field. Yeah, that's got to be an error. But it's a significant 90-foot gift, because it puts Pence in scoring position now with 2 outs.
It is a single. And Santana charged with an error. Now Belt with first base open and the right-handed hitting Duffy on deck, and they're going to walk Belt intentionally. Belt has popped up into a double play and walked, so he will be walked here intentionally. And Matt Duffy, who hit a home run earlier in this game, is the guy they prefer to throw to here.
He definitely takes the challenge. If somebody is intentionally walked in front of him, I mean, it stiffens him up a little bit.
So the walk is completed. 2 men on, and now Duffy comes up in the second inning. In his first at bat, he hit one hard.
Yeah, Giants down a run, and there's a 2-strike mistake middle in at the belt, and he just jumped all over a little cut fastball from Taylor Youngman. I mean, Youngman didn't make many mistakes. He only gave up 3 hits in his 5 innings. But that was the big one that hurt him.
He has been the RBI man for the Giants early on this year. These first 3 games, got 2 homers and 6 driven in. Base hit here could put the Giants ahead. 2 on, 2 out. Pence a fast runner at second. Curves it for a called strike.
Anything at any time. But guys who are like that, the guys that give them trouble are guys that use the whole field, and Duffy is one of those guys.
Here's Boyer. Aaron Hill does not get it. VR does and throws out Matt Duffy. Nice play there by VR. The Giants get the 1 run to tie the game as we go to the last of the 6th.
Bay Area is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
We go to the last half of the 6th inning here at Miller Park. It is 3-3, and the world-famous sausage race has just been run. Sorry we missed it.
Well, Maria Jacinto, our boss, is going to be very happy today because chorizo was the winner. How do we know that? Because we missed it. He put it up on the board.
Ramon Flores hitting 6th in the order, leads off against Samardzija. 3-3 the score. 1 ball and no strikes.
Whatever adjustments that Samardzija made about the 4th inning, was finally able to get the ball down around the knees. I think a lot of it had to do just with the adrenaline wearing off. Understand how amped up he was. At the start of the game, he busted out of the dugout after the end of the top of the first inning, and he was the only guy in the field wanting to start getting his warm-up pitches going.
So I guess it takes a pitcher to notice something like that.
It was him and Trevor Brown, who was they're the only two guys out in the field.
2-1 the count. A bloop, and there is Pagan. One away. All right, let's see. Did Chorizo win?
All right, for Maria Jacinto, her favorite has always been Chorizo. And Chorizo lead the pack. And here comes Italian.
What happened there? Is Italian going to pass Chorizo? I don't know. Here we go.
And that's it. It's much more fun when somebody face plants.
That's how it ended last night, right?
It was awesome.
Aaron Hill with a count of strike one. He is flat out to shallow right and grounded out to short. Pence made a sliding catch to deny him a bloop single back in the second inning.
Pretty much sinker, cutters, and sliders for Samardzija. He hasn't thrown many of the splits.
Along the right field line, foul. This will reach back in amongst the spectators, out of play. The pitcher due up next, Blaine Boyer, but Kirk Neuenhuis has come out on deck.
You see the distribution. 78% of what he's been throwing today has been hard stuff. The slider has been his best specialty pitch, and the split really hasn't been around a whole lot.
0-2 the count. That was the 91st pitch thrown by Jeff Samardzija, or 92nd pitch, I beg your pardon. Giants have some action going in their bullpen. We're in the last of the sixth inning. 2-2. That's George Cantos, the right-hander, and Josh Osich, the left-hander. Ready if needed. Out of the Giants bullpen beyond the right center field wall. One out, nobody on. 2-2 to Aaron Hill. He went down to get that one, his first hit of the game. Fifth hit in 9 career at-bats for Hill against Samardzija.
Well, that wasn't a hanger either. She pointed out he went down and got it. I mean, the mistake was middle in. And we always talk about Aaron Hill and how good he is to that side of the plate.
Kirk Neuenhuis is going to be the pinch hitter. Mike, forgive me, but how do you spell that again?
K-I-R-K.
Ah, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
I mean, that'd be a rough deal if you get to the gates of heaven and they say, okay, spell Neuenhuis and Samardzija, or you don't get in.
Samardzija's name, he pronounces it Samardzija, of course, but if you tried to sound it out phonetically, it would look like Samardzija. That's a foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Neuenhuis. Neuenhuis, the former Met. There's Samardzija. That's a lot of letters on the back of a jersey.
You got to have shoulders big enough to support your name, and he does.
Runner at first with 1 out. Samardzija's allowed 7 hits in the game. He also has issued 3 walks. So the Brewers have had a lot of men on base in this one, in these first 6 innings. There has been only one inning where Samardzija retired the side in order with nobody getting aboard. That's into right field, a base hit through that open hole. Belt was holding against Aaron Hill, and Neuenhuis was able to exploit that. 2 men on with 1 man out, and VR coming up, the switch hitter. And here comes Bruce Bochy. Samardzija at 98 pitches for the game, and the Giants will go to the right-hander, George Cantos.
Of the year, April 18th to the 21st, the Giants invite all students, alumni, and fans of Stanford to our college night at AT&T Park. Each special event ticket package will include a game ticket to see the Giants take on the D-backs and a limited edition co-branded Stanford college hat. You want information? Go to sfgiants.com/special events. Dave Fleming is going to want that hat badly.
3-3 the score. Last of the 6th inning. Dave Fleming, by the way, on assignment. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts, as George Cantos is on the hill, and he comes in a tight spot, a 3-3 game. A couple of runners on, only 1 out, and VR, the switch hitter, coming up.
One of his specialties last year was coming into existing innings like he's inheriting now, with men on base and not allowing anybody to score. Very, very good in that regard. Cantos has a fastball, a curveball, slider, and a changeup. His slider is his best specialty pitch, and you just saw the first pitch of this at bat to VR.
So he's into an even deeper hole now. As Samardzija watches from the dugout, those runners belong to his record. He had a day where he battled all day long. Samardzija, 11 men reached against him in 5 1/3 innings pitched. Two 2-0. 3-0. The leadoff man, the right-handed hitting Santana, is on deck.
For Samardzija, his first 2 ballparks that he's going to open up with this year here in Millers Park, and his next outing is going to be at Coors Field.
Called ball 4. So now the bases are loaded with only one out. And Domingo Santana coming up.
Well, a walk in that situation is a mistake because you get the runner at third base in less than 2 outs. So immediately, Contos puts himself in a strikeout situation.
Santana has walked and scored a run, singled home a run, and grounded out to first. Not necessarily an easy man to double up. He's a fast runner. The infield is double play dead. Strike on the outside. You saw Corey Guerin, the right-hander, up in the Giants bullpen along with Javier Lopez, the left-hander. There they are. Guerin, the righty. This could be 2. Crawford gets 1, 2. Double play, and the inning is over. Almost as if he had it planned that way.
Nice pitch.
Dwayne Kuiper will come back starting in the 7th inning with Brandon Crawford coming up.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Through 6 full innings of play, we're all tied up here at Miller Park. Giants 3 runs on 5 hits, no errors. Brewers 3 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors. Samardzija goes 5 1/3 in his debut. Pagan, the big man for the Giants, 2 for 3 with a triple and a double. He scored twice. Matt Duffy, a solo shot, his 2nd of the year. And that is our Toyota game summary, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Now we're here at the top of the 7th inning. And once again, here's Dwayne Kuiper.
All right, here's Brandon Crawford. It's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Tyler Thornburg, the new pitcher for the Brewers. And he's a hard thrower. You see a fastball that goes low to mid-90s. He's also got a good curveball and a changeup that he'll throw at you.
So Crawford, the hitter, after ending the inning with a very nifty 6-6-3 double play. When you think about the speed of Santana, there's just about the only spot, well, not the only spot, but one of the spots where you're going to get the double play.
Could not have been placed any better.
This is Bernard Span, who's not feeling great. And a base hit to right field. This is a double play we're talking about.
Just right up the middle. Nice little hop about mid-thigh, and in the end, it wasn't even close. And look at George Cantos. Loving it, as was Jeff Samardzija. Yeah, I like it here. Samardzija a little disappointed. I mean, I think given all the distraction and the adrenaline he had to pitch through, he hung in there pretty well.
Here's Span. Span 3 for 10 on the season. Well, he pitched through traffic in every inning. He had 1 1-2-3 inning. That was the 4th.
Well, and historically, this has been a tough place for him.
And a strike to Denard Span. Span, I beg your pardon, is 3 for 9. He's got 5 RBIs during this young season with Gregor Blanco on deck. Crawford's hit his first of the game. Everybody in that clubhouse trying to avoid the flu.
It hasn't been easy.
Yeah, this guy didn't. Bumgarner fought through it on Monday in the opener. Buster's the smart one. He got it with games that didn't count.
Yeah, veteran move.
A quick 0-2 to Span. Gregor Blanco is on deck. We're in the 7th. Outside 1-2. Big gap between Carter and Jeanette, with Carter holding on Crawford. So Thornburg keeping an eye on Brandon Crawford. One-two pitch. Here it is to Span. Got him.
Change up and a good one.
See, that's unfair if you're sick.
Well, I agree. That should be a rule. If you got the flu, you don't have to try and hit a change up.
I agree.
Hey, the gamer babe, all the way from Sacramento. Had a bit.
Here's Blanco. Blanco's bounced out to Jeanette twice. He's 0 for 2. Tyler Thornburg. He is the 4th pitcher for the Brewers. Youngman started, then Capuano, then Boyer. Blanco taking a long look at Roberto Kelly. Helmets are still nice and clean, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like any of these guys want to get it dirty with pine tar like we used to see with the old helmets.
Cued off the end of the bat. That's one. Not in time. Surprised it was close.
Well, it was not a sharply hit ground ball. Nice feed right up around the shoulder. And VR's got a gun, and that's a close play. Brewers are checking out the replay. They will not contest.
So here's Pagan. Pagan's had a good day. He's scored twice. He's had a double and a triple. And we'll see if Gregor Blanco tries to get into scoring position. You think he probably will.
Well, it's a go situation if you're a Steeler. 2 outs, you're at first. If you put yourself in scoring position, hey, great. If not, you get to lead off the next inning with your other leadoff hitter.
Blanco thought about it, put on the brakes. Troy's going to have a word.
Thornburger's not particularly quick out of the stretch either. And that may have been the message that Lucroy trotted out there to give him. Give me a chance. Slide step, get quick as you can.
So Blanco steps out, but quickly back in with, or make that Pagan, with Blanco taking his lead at first. I think he's going.
Well, if you're Pagan, you look hard fastball away. Lucroy, like a lot of catchers, if he senses a guy's in a base stealing situation, he'll call for fastballs away just to give him a better chance to try and throw a guy out.
Well, there's the pitch you're talking about. It's 1-0, or make it 2-0.
I mean, and that's information that these guys have. When you get the statistical tendencies where pitchers will throw and where they'll throw it, it gives you a pretty good idea which side of the plate to look for. Fastball away.
2 balls and 1 strike.
There's several different types of signs that you can give a base stealer. Number one, Gregor Blanco has the green light. If he gets a good jump, he can go anytime he wants to. There's also a sign where it's don't go. There's another sign is must go.
On deck, Joe panicked. Crawford opened up the inning with a base hit. Span struck out. Blanco reached on a fielder's choice. Three and one.
Way away, hard stuff, hard stuff, hard stuff.
Foul back. Good rip by Pagan. It's 3-2. Dad's got the boys.
Yep.
3-2. Now Blanco will be going.
Whole at bat has gone away with the fastball. Now the 3-2, you can go the other side of the plate. Fastball in.
Lined into center, but right there is Flores, and that's going to end the inning. Bottom of the 7th, it'll be Jeanette, Braun, and Lucroy coming up 3-3. On April 18th. That'll be a series through the 21st. The Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday games, all 3 games are at 7:15. The Thursday game is day baseball. Day baseball in the city. Always a big hit. And that's a 12:45 start. Check out the D-backs and the Giants 4-game series. Go to sfgiants.com/tickets. It's 3-3 here in Milwaukee. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
So with Scooter Gennett, the left-handed hitter, coming up, Javier Lopez summoned from the bullpen. Probably going to be a one-hitter appearance for Lopez. Last year, 1-0 with a 1.60 ERA. Just had a fantastic season. Lefties hit 112 against him. Give you 2 or 3 different types of release. For the most part, low 3/4. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. Corey Guerin gets up again. He's thinking about Ryan Braun, the on-deck hitter.
So Lopez falls behind 2-0. So now he's got to come in. Base hit for Gennett today came in the first inning. And a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 really big double plays in this game, the biggest in the 6th. In a tie game with the bases loaded and 1 out, Canto's got Santana to hit into an inning-ending double play. This is headed in our direction, right next to John. It's 2-2.
John will make that play easy.
You make it out of the streets of Hayward, you can make that play. Full count.
Well, he made it out. One of Hayward's favorite sons, John Miller.
He's a farmer. 3-2. Foul back. Good swing by Gennett.
He's on everything.
He is.
As advertised, you talk to the Brewer people before the series, and they said the guy who was swinging the bat better than anybody
He's got a pine tar bat.
was Scooter Gennett. Yeah. You would have that stain, wouldn't you?
Oh, a flinch by Mr. DeMiro.
It's an example of the tight strike zone he has. So just a wee bit outside. When you're hot, you don't go off strike zone.
So that was the hitter for Lopez. Now it's Corey Guerin. It's a 3-3 game, and we'll be back.
Log on to csnbayarea.com as insider Alex Pavlovich will provide wire-to-wire reporting of the Giants' 2016 season. Breaking news, video, special features, and much, much more only on csnbayarea.com.
A 3-3 ball game.
New pitcher now for the Giants will be the right-hander Corey Guerin. Last year, rehabbing from Tommy John surgery, he really got his arm back. Had a nice season, 46 strikeouts in 43 innings. In Sacramento, a 2.72 ERA. And he's a ground ball specialist. You're going to see low 90 sink, good hard slider, changeup combination. But this is an ideal situation to bring him in when you have to get a ground ball.
And he's got the beef. Braun, Lucroy, Carter all coming up with Jeanette at first. Swing. Ain't gonna miss. No balls and 1 strike.
I would not be surprised to see Scooter Jeanette take off here. Craig Counsell, the skipper for the Brewers, knows that Guerin puts the ball on the ground, and he may want to start Jeanette just to stay out of that double play.
Yeah, he might be tired of seeing the double play ball. Braun knocked in a run on the first with a base hit. Since then, he's flied out and struck out. Lines this one to left. It's going to fall. Braun may have broken his bat. And now the hitter will be Jonathan Lucroy. Little top spinner. Lucroy singled in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. Brewers really have had base runners all over the place in this game. They've got 9 hits and they've walked 5 times. So that's 14 base runners. Outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. They've stranded 7 in this game. One ball, no strikes. And a strike. That'll even the count.
Pound the knees with sink. Giants are playing Duffy back at third base. And, Lucroy, we have seen him drag. Handles that bat well. Can do a lot of things with it.
Breaking ball, 1 and 2 quick.
He was not looking for that. He was looking for sink down around the knees.
Two and 2. Jeanette at second, Braun at first. A walk and a single. And another slice foul.
It sounded like he might have broken his bat. Did not sound healthy.
So Guerin rubs up a new baseball. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. There isn't anybody out. Guerin gets the sign. And that's going to be fouled down the left field line. Lucroy's not making great contact, but he manages to stay alive.
There's a newbie.
That newbie got scared.
Well, a lot of commotion going on in that part of the ballpark. I think we're okay.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Carter watching from the on-deck circle. Gonna hit it.
Crossed him up. Crossed up Posey. That's a big mistake. That takes the force out. That's how you also hurt your catcher. Posey was expecting a fastball. He got a slider.
Well, we'll see how kind the official score is here.
Well, it's got to be a wild pitch. You can't blame that on a catcher.
Well, nobody out, 2nd and 3rd. Definitely makes the situation a lot tougher. Got him.
And he gets him to go out of the strike zone at a slider. What was a ground ball situation became a strikeout situation. They brought the infield in, and for Guerin, and he goes out the strike zone, and he gets Lucroy to chase. That's not an easy thing to do. So a non-productive out. And a frustrating at bat for Lucroy, but a great job from Guerin. He's not out of the woods yet.
So here's Carter. Carter is 1 for 3. Giants will play the infield, not all the way in, but in. And a strike, and it's 0-1. Well, I think the cross-up tipped off Guerin. He's throwing the ball better now than he has in the entire inning.
It'll tweak you up a little bit. Anger's a good thing.
One ball, 1 strike.
Plus, how confident can a catcher be when you get crossed up with runners at first and second? Everybody moves up. Now you got to run at third base.
I guess you got to just forget about it. One and 2.
That was nasty. I think I can echo the thoughts that are in the mind. That is in the mind of Chris Carter, because he had 0 lower body in that swing.
Well, it's likely he's going to see another one.
Maybe a bit wider.
And this very well could do it. Is Blatko's going to make the catch. Here's the throw home, and Belt will cut it off. So Guerin pitching for the strikeout, and Carter got enough of it.
2 RBI day for Carter. That's a big one.
I don't think Guerin wanted that pitch to be hittable.
No, he did not. It's one of those times you get an out, you're kind of mad at yourself. So
here's Ramon Flores. And he takes wide, 1 ball and no strikes. Panic got him. Nice play, and that'll end the inning. Brewers break the tie. 8th inning coming up. Panic's going to lead things off.
Bay Area is brought to you by Ring Central. Business communications made simple.
Well, the Brewers take the lead in the 7th. It's 4-3. Michael Blazek is the new pitcher. He will pitch the 8th inning here at Miller Park.
Second time we've seen Blazek in this series. Last year in 45 games, 5-3 with a 2.43 ERA. Did not allow a lot of hits in 55 innings, just 40 hits allowed. He's got a good fastball that goes low to mid-90s. Curveball, slider, changeup combination. All from a high 3/4 release.
And he'll have to go after the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in this lineup, and maybe more. So here's Joe Panic. And the first pitch right at the knees, and it's 0-1.
That's 92-mile-an-hour two-seam paint. This guy's feeling it.
He is feeling it. Normally we would blame that on the tailgating, but there wasn't a whole lot of that going on today.
No. Good attitude right there.
1 ball and 1 strike.
Strong effort.
Hey, he'd fit right in at AT&T Park.
Oh yeah.
A little low, 2-1.
Just a bit. Blazek wanted it.
On a play, 2-2.
Panic has had a good series. Swinging the bat.
Look out.
He didn't help you out. I mean, he knows the strike zone. It's news when he chases something out of the zone.
And the walk. That's a gift. Here's Buster Posey. Well, join us tomorrow. It'll be the home opener, Giants and Dodgers. A special 90-minute pregame live, and that'll start at noon. And you can see it right here on CSN Bay Area. You see the matchups. Peavy against Alex Wood, and then a Major League debut on Friday. Matt Cain against Ross Stripling. So here's Posey. Look out.
That's the last thing you wanted to do there. They set that target away. One-run lead. The last thing you want to do is throw a purpose pitch at your opponent's best hitter. But it definitely tunes up the at-bat for Posey.
Panic with his lead. Carter holding him on. Jeanette really swung around near the bag at second. And this is hit right on the ground, a fair ball. And this is going to be safe. He stepped on the bag, and the middle infielder didn't know it. Took the force off. So Panic is aboard at first, or at second.
Well, how hard is that for a second baseman to see?
You didn't know. You don't know. I mean, somebody, if you can, somebody's got to be yelling at him. But it's all happening really fast.
Well, it turns out to be a 90-foot mistake, and the Giants will take it because at the very least it's a productive out. And he thinks it's a force. He's got to put a tag on Posey once the out has already been recorded at first base by way of the force, which Carter did with his footwork.
By the way, nice play by Carter.
Yeah, nice at bat, nice play indeed.
Here's Pence. And Pence takes a strike. Belt is on deck. Panic the tying run at second base. High and wide. Woodball in one strike. Couple of hits this afternoon for Hunter Pence. 2-1.
Jeremy Jeffress, the closer for Milwaukee, heating up. Saw him in last night's game.
2-2.
That's a good changeup. Perfect location. That type of pitch will definitely shorten you up if you're a hitter. Great sell job with the arm action. It looked exactly like the arm action of a fastball.
And the 2-2 is hit high into center field and deep. On the move is Flores. He's going to get there. He will make the catch. And moving over to third is Panic. So here's Belt.
Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, going to come out and talk it over. And basically, as they have this meeting on the mound brought to you by Ring Central, business communications made simple. And basically, they're going to allow Blazek a chance to pitch to whoever he wants to pitch to. You want to pitch against Belt? Do you want to pitch against Duffy? Blazek has faced Belt one time. He struck him out. He's faced Duffy twice. Duffy 1 for 2 with a strikeout. But basically, don't get beat in the middle of the strike zone. However you decide to go at it, make sure you're throwing quality pitches. You're thinking corners. Pressure here is on Jonathan Lucroy, the catcher. And when a guy goes into shave mode, he can throw a ball in the dirt in a heartbeat.
Belt on the ground, foul.
So according to plan, that ball off the strike zone inside, and he gets Belt to go after it. He gets a quick 0-1. I don't know how that bat survived that contact.
Pretty close to the hands.
Oh, back in there again.
He did, and he just missed.
Quality pitch right there. Hunter Strickland on the right, Sergio Romo on the left.
One and one to Belt. Tying runners at third. Belt, center field. Flores got a good jump, and he tracks it down. Well, Belt gave it a good ride. Bottom of the eighth coming up, 3-2 Milwaukee. Business class hosted by Elmer. Our old friend Jim Kozumor at 5 o'clock today on CSN Bay Area. The guest that'll be with Elmer will be our friends Tim Kawakami and Ann Gilligan, and Mike Montgomery, who's an inductee into the National Collegiate Basketball Hall of Fame tonight, 5 p.m. Check it out. Here's Aaron Hill facing Corey Guerin, and it's low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Not by much.
Colin Walsh is on deck. Just misses again, 2-0. On the ground, foul. I think it's always safe to say, Mike, this was the great play by Hill way back in the first inning.
Well, 2 parts of the play are fantastic. Number one, track it down to Texas leaguer and then get set up quickly. And I mean, he throws an absolute one-hop strike to Lucroy, and they put the tag on Posey. And here we are in a 1-run ball game. How big was that play?
But the point I was trying to make, tight strike zone sometimes can determine length of game.
Yeah, no doubt. You get a tight strike zone like DeMuro has. Hey, it's been a consistent zone.
Oh, yeah.
You just haven't seen many corner strikes, and it will lengthen out a game.
Bochy's coming out, I think.
That's the 4th time today the Giants pitching have walked the leadoff hitter to start things out for the Brewers.
And the 6th walk of the afternoon. So Colin Walsh has been announced. Osich is coming in. It's 4-3 Milwaukee.
Insurance Giants post-game live. You get highlights, reaction, and analysis, and it's all coming up right after the game. The pitcher now for the Giants will be Josh Osich. That's what he did last year in 35 games, 2-0 with a 2.20 ERA. You see a mid to high 90s fastball with a hard slider and a changeup. 27 strikeouts last year in 28 2/3. Good stuff.
So here's Walsh. Walsh pinch hitting. Giants trying to get to the 9th, only trailing by 1 run. And Walsh right out of bed with a foul out of play.
He was not trying to take one to right field there.
He was not.
He's trying to hit one off the forehead of Bernie Brewer up in the dugout, left field.
No balls in 1 strike. Swing and a foul held on by Posey. Nothing in 2. See the defense set up pretty much straight away in the outfield. Skied out to left for Pagan, who will make the catch. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Jonathan Villar. For the Giants in the top of the 9th inning, they will have Duffy, Crawford, and then a pinch hitter. Span is already pinch hit in this game. And a quick toss to first, and Hill is back. Carry 13 pitchers, your options are a bit limited, especially if you start using guys in the middle of the game. But the Giants really don't have a choice. Only 2 off days in what, the first month?
Well, that's why they needed the 8 guys in the bullpen. Starters aren't as strong early in the season as they will be as the season wears on. You can't count on them for 6, 7 innings consistently, or 8. So the bullpen has to eat up more innings. You don't get off days early, it taxes your staff.
0-2.
2 healthy challenges right there. 94, 95, and 2 swing throws and a quick 0-2 count for Osage. He's got no fear of throwing that fastball to anybody, right-handed, left-handed. He didn't care.
He does not. Out of play.
He almost lost his career a couple times with big injuries, severe injuries. So he figures, like, you know what? I'm here.
Every day's a bonus.
Let it hang. And it's kind of the mentality you really have to have in the pen. And he doesn't save anything. Get after it.
Got him.
Change up. And right away, VR gave the look as if to say, who are you? What was that? That's a rough at bat. That's what that was. Let's take a look at the circle changeup. Identical arm action. And VR going, watch the look he gives Osage. Big swing, looks away, and all of a sudden, who are you?
Here's Santana, and he takes down low.
Did you ever give that look?
Yeah, all the time. There's a potential pinch hitter, Ari Adrianza.
And Josh Osage finding out what everybody who's pitching this game has found out is that you don't get many corner strikes with the strike zone today. Good pitch. Now you have to bite off a little more strike zone. You cannot walk somebody into scoring position. You know, I like that throw over there, and that's called by Bochy. But Bochy, an old catcher, he knows when a pitcher gets down to count 2, all of a sudden his concentration goes right to the hitter, and at times he'll forget about that runner at first base. And that is the time the manager will call that throw over to first.
So it's 3-0. And the walk.
Pretty easy at bat right there for Santana. Hunter Strickland. Thinking about Ryan Braun, who's on deck.
Jeanette's walked twice in this game. It's not close. 1 ball and no strikes. So Osage, as good as his control was, all of a sudden it's disappeared.
Well, this really was a bit problematic for him in spring training, and he would have these lapses of wildness. Problem is, when you start to lose the strike zone, you don't start thinking about corner location. You think, I just have to throw a strike, and that's when you give hitters good pitches to hit over the middle of the strike zone. And right now, the guy in the batter's box is seeing it big. He's had a nice series. Jeanette is swinging it well. Jeanette, in the season opener on Monday, hit a home run against Madison Bumgarner. There's Bump, the winning pitcher in that opening day assignment.
So it's 2-0, and Jeanette will sit on something here. And he shoots it foul and out of play. Hill at second. Santana aboard at first. Three and one.
A little high. Man, that looks like pine tar on the bat.
Out of play again, same spot, 3-2. Runners now will be on the move. It's 3-2. Just in and out of the glove of Buster Posey. We will reset and do it again.
That's a 90-mile-an-hour cutter.
So we'll reset. Everybody, Hill, Santana will take off. Osage waiting on Buster Posey, and now Jeanette will step out. Three and two. Got him. And that'll end the inning. 96.
That's nasty.
Giants need a run to tie, 2 to take the lead. Duffy to lead things off. Central right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Amy G and Alex Pavlovich will have post-game notes and reactions, and the 49er players will discuss the start of the Chip Kelly era.
The pitcher now for the Brewers will be their closer, Jeremy Jeffress, who's got great stuff. Last year in 72 games, 2.65 ERA with 67 strikeouts and 68 innings. How does he do it? It'll be a mid to low 90s or low to mid 90s sink, or fastball with sink and cut. Good hard curveball. I mean, it's a swing and miss curveball, and he's also got a changeup.
Well, the Giants have gotten their leadoff hitter on in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and scored just once. And that was when Pagan opened up the 6th with a triple. So they'd like to have their leadoff hitter on here in the 9th. And that would be Matt Duffy. And the fastball is high. Went out of bed at 95, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Crawford to follow. And then we'll see who Bruce Bochy uses off the bench. Duffy with a long home run in the 2nd, his 2nd of the season. And there's that curveball for a strike to even the count. That's a lot like what Taylor Youngman was doing, the starter in this game.
Well, when a guy throws 95 like Jefferson, I mean, you're not going to think about it, that pitch, until you have to. You're going to get up there looking for gas. And he takes advantage of it. Duffy pretty much telling you what he's looking for. He was looking for hard stuff. Now you make the adjustment. Shorten up to defend.
So 1-2 to Duffy. Got it.
Right above the hands with 94. I mean, that's a rough at bat. You get one pitch to swing at it, it's above your hands at high velocity with movement running towards you. That is a perfect 1-2 pitch. And really what set this up were the 2 curveballs that got to the 1-2 count.
Indeed it did. So here's Crawford. Crawford's 1 for 2. Walk and a single. Overshift is on with Hill playing to the right of second base, as that's fouled out of play. Oh, 0-1 to Brandon Crawford. Giants will play tomorrow. The Brewers have a day off. The Astros will be here at Miller Park on Friday night. Crawford out of play. It's 1-2.
You can see, just looking at the stuff of Jeffress, why the Brewers like him in this role. I mean, he's got stuff that you could throw up there to lefties, righties. But if you're going to close out innings, I mean, you have to be able to get both sides out.
Digs that one out from the inside part of the plate. It stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. Well, we had that nice, clean, crisp game last night. Not so much today.
Well, the point you made earlier in the game, though, it has everything to do with the strike zone these guys are given.
Fouled again. Stays at 2-2.
Giants pitching has given up 7 walks today. Last night's game they didn't give up any.
Brewers have walked 4, so 11 walks. 2-2. Crawford on the ground. 2 outs. So here's Adrianza. Adrianza got a base hit in his only at bat on Monday. And his job right now is, if you're not going to knock one out of the park, try to get on for Blanco. On the ground, and this should do it. And that's the ball game. So always tough to sweep a team on the road, and the Giants found that out today. Is the Brewers in a game that had a lot of walks end up beating the Giants.
Well, and I guess you could say it's a good feeling to come in and win a series and be disappointed you didn't sweep, and that's kind of how the Giants feel. But nevertheless, they did what they had to do, and that's win this series. And now they take home momentum as they face the Dodgers tomorrow.
Giants and Dodgers tomorrow. It'll be the home opener, and we cannot wait to get home. Final score: Brewers 4, Giants 3. Stay tuned. Esurance Giants postgame live starts right now.